Right, welcome back to the Jack Ward Football Podcast and welcome to the brand new season. The 2023-24 season is just weeks away and today we are going to open the season with one transfer your League One club must make this summer. I must also say as well a warm welcome to the new clubs, Leyton Orient, Carlisle, Northampton, Stevenage, Reading, Wigan and Blackpool. A warm welcome to you. Subscribe so you never miss an episode of the podcast across the season. Roundups every Sunday and lots of exciting concepts just like this one across the week as well. So for Barnsley, I've gone with Jamie Cumming. That would be a loan move from Chelsea with Isted now at Charlton. Barnsley are going to be in the market for a new goalkeeper. Jamie Cumming has got plenty of experience in Sky Bet League One with back-to-back loan spells with MK Dons, one more successful than the other. But either way, he was pivotal post-January, especially the season before last. His distribution and shot stopping was fantastic. We talk about modern-day goalkeeping now. We're seeing it in the Football League, even in League Two and League One. Jamie Cumming is a prime example of somebody who's going to be available on loan. He's not going to get an opportunity, you'd think, for Chelsea this season. So a loan move once again. He could be looking at the Championship, but Barnsley, they're going to be hoping for Championship football the season after this one anyway, with a very close promotion, of course, last season. And that should be, I think, the player they should be targeting, and certainly the type of calibre of player they should be bringing in this summer as well. Financially, it does make sense for Barnsley being a loan move. Let's see what happens. But a goalkeeper will definitely be on the list, and I think Jamie Cumming would be a good shout. So for Blackpool, I've gone with Olamide Shodipo. This would be a free transfer after his release from Championship club QPR. We saw last season with Lincoln City, he is a really, really good player for this level. And now on a free transfer, he's looking for a permanent home. He's had quite a few loan spells in Sky Bet League One. Lincoln, like I said, last season. Sheffield Wednesday, that was tampered with injury. And then Oxford as well, where I think he did pretty well from what I can remember. He actually got quite a few goals. I believe that season he was our second top goal scorer and was tricky and really good on the ball. And we saw that with Lincoln City last time out as well. He can play in a variety of systems and formations. I talk about system and style because he can play on the counter-attack. We saw last season that goal at Pride Park. He's fantastic at using the ball at his feet and driving at defenders. But also, again, in a progressive possession-based side as well. He's comfortable with the ball in that type of style. I think he could be really useful for this Neil Critchley Blackpool side on a free transfer. There will be plenty of competition. Lincoln City as well. But let's wait and see. I think this could be a really sensible move for all parties involved, and especially for Shodipo. So for Bolton Wanderers, I've gone with McEuley Langstaff. This is slightly unrealistic, maybe. He's, of course, at Notts County right now, and this would be a permanent move. The reason why I say it's unrealistic to a certain degree is because there's going to be plenty of interest and Championship interest. And although Bolton do have a fantastic pulling power for a League One club, this could be one where a Championship club could come knocking and pay what we'd expect to be a quite high asking price that Notts County want for Langstaff. Let's wait and see. Last season we kept speaking about how Bolton need consistent striking options in their squad, and Langstaff would be all of that and more. We saw last season in the National League 41 goals in 45 games in what was a very competitive National League as well. I mean, we talk about having consistent striking options and players that can get the ball into the back of the net on a regular basis. Langstaff is all of those things, and like I said, probably more as well. Now, of course, the big question is, would Langstaff be better off holding out for further Championship interest and offers? Because you'd expect there to be some. And also, the big one as well, what sort of fee are Notts County going to be demanding? Of course, David McGoldrick has come through the door already, which is a striker, maybe replacement for Langstaff. Definitely short term though, when you look at David McGoldrick's age. And then Rodriguez leaving the football club as well. So options either way. It's really quite tricky. Again, maybe unlikely, but even still, Bolton have proved their pulling power in Sky Bet League One, and they're definitely going to be looking at a striker this summer. So for Bristol Rovers, I've gone with Harry McCurdy. This would be either a transfer or a loan from Hibernian. Quite a fiery character at the best of times, but let's remember who manages Bristol Rovers right now, Joey Barton. He doesn't mind having those type of players at the football club. It looks like McCurdy's time at Hibernian is over after a tough spell in Scotland, so England and a return to the Football League does look on the cards this summer. Last time he was in England, he scored 21 goals for Swindon and helped them reach the League Two semi-final playoffs, and of course got himself into the League Two team of the season as well. So in England, he's got a really good track record, and now at only 26 years of age, getting him back in the country where we've seen best of him does make total sense, especially for the player Harry McCurdy. He's versatile and can play in multiple positions, both on the left and the right and through the middle. So again, you're looking at what that Bristol Rovers squad needs right now. That is options, I think, in the forward areas. Hopefully they do keep hold of Aaron Collins for their sake, but this could be a potential replacement or another addition to play alongside the good players they've got, you must say, in those forward areas. I think this makes sense for all parties, and also financially, a loan or a transfer. Just, I think the message from Hibernian is get him off the books. So for Burton Albion, I've gone with Ziad Lekeche. This would be a free transfer. It looks as though with Borthwick Jackson leaving the football club, a left-back will be on Dino's shopping list this summer. After his release from Fulham this season, Lekeche would be a solid attacking left-back for Burton to pick up. He was solid when called upon on loan at Barnsley last season, but he's now looking for a permanent move and regular minutes. For Barnsley, he wasn't their first choice left-back or left wing-back. We'll come on to that versatility in just a second, but he was a really, really good option. And when he did come on, he didn't disappoint. He was a solid player, and now on a free transfer, League One clubs definitely will be knocking. He's also a French under-20 international, making 6 appearances since 2021, so he's clearly high regarded on the international stage. His versatility is also extremely popular, as I've just said there as well, capable of playing in a back 3 as a left wing-back or a traditional left-back in a back 4, so really helpful to play as a left-back or a left-sided player in both of those different systems. I think Ziad Lekeche on a free transfer would be exactly the type of profile that Burton should be looking at this summer. So for Cambridge, I've gone with Sully Kaikai. This would be a free transfer after his release from recently relegated MK Dons. I think this is a really sensible addition, especially on a free transfer. He struggled for minutes last season in what was quite a bloated and disappointing MK Dons squad, but when he's been playing in League One over the last couple of years, he's shown his quality and proven, I'd say, at this level. In the 21-22 season, he managed 8 goal contributions in 8 starts, and the year before that, he managed 15 in 33 starts. So statistically and on the ball, he's a really fun player to watch and be part of your side. I think he's proven he can do a really, really good job. And the way that a fresh start does fit, I think with Sully Kaikai and with now Cambridge looking to attract that type of player, I think this is a perfect fit for both club and for player. So for Carlisle, I've gone with Conor McManaman. This would be a free transfer from Glentoran. McManaman has been attracting plenty of attention from League One and League Two clubs this summer, and you can see why. He's expressed an interest for a new challenge, and England seems to be the perfect place for that challenge. Gillingham are interested in League Two, but you can see the financial backing of that football club now. They are bringing in plenty of players. So if Carlisle could get hold of this player with 10 goals and 5 assists in 23 games in the Northern Irish League last season, it would be some statement. It seems now the right time to move on, especially at 27 years of age. He's hitting the prime years as a footballer, so this does make sense for everybody involved. Carlisle would definitely have to be fighting off other suitors, as I've said, not just Gillingham in League Two, but other League One clubs, but certainly would add something to this Carlisle front line. I'd say an element of quality. That's what I've gone with for Carlisle this summer. So for Charlton, I've gone with Lewis Dobbin on loan from Everton after a decent loan spell at Derby County last season. It looks as though another Football League loan will be on the cards for Dobbin. He contributed to 7 in 20 starts when it comes to goals last time out, but now I think Championship, but probably League One. I think that's probably the next move for Lewis Dobbin. Maybe lower end Championship, and Charlton, of course, have very high ambitions and expectations once again heading into this League One season. Charlton do need to add firepower to this squad. I mean, a look at Raksaki leaving the football club. Bomb didn't ever really hit the ground running, but he is an attacking option, and Dobbin can play both as a striker and also as a wide player as well. He's very, very versatile, which is a big tick in that box for Dean Holden's recruitment strategy this summer. Derby and other League One and Championship clubs will be looking at Lewis Dobbin because the development was clear throughout the season. Let's wait and see, but I think a change of environment could be really beneficial for Lewis Dobbin this summer, and Charlton could be the right fit. So for Cheltenham, I've gone with Jesse Deborah. This would be a transfer from Halifax after Celeb Taylor's loan spell is up. A central defender will be on the list, or at least one. I'm going to hope two, because otherwise this transfer is completely irrelevant. Curtis Davis has just been confirmed as a Cheltenham player. I expect more defenders and probably another central defender, especially when you look at Wade Elliott wanting to play that back three. Davis is definitely experienced, and I'd say a really good solid signing, but he's short term. Jesse Deborah and the other names on the list are going to have to be long-term potential options, whether that's a loan or a permanent deal. This would probably be a permanent transfer from Halifax, and I think they're not going to be accepting loan moves, and Jesse Deborah has certainly got fantastic potential. He's a powerful, quick, ball-playing defender that had some fantastic numbers, and I think is ready now to make that step up from the National League. Not just one division, but I think two. He accumulated fantastic numbers when it comes to progressive runs and passes per 90 compared to other defenders in the National League. At only 22 years of age, like I said, we're looking at the long term here. He's got plenty of potential. The ceiling of potential is fantastic, and I think makes sense for Jesse Deborah and for Cheltenham. So for Derby County, I've gone with Jay Stansfield. This would be a loan deal from Fulham. It's pretty clear with the departure of David McGoldrick and Lewis Dobbin this summer, a striker will be on the list, and probably two, I think. Jay Stansfield certainly did deliver on his quite romantic loan spell with Exeter last season, bagging 16 goal contributions up top. With more creativity around him and a bit more of a positive season under his belt now at a professional level, another loan move does seem likely and I think beneficial for everybody. The pacing behind, the link-up play, the finishing ability, I think is exactly what Derby County need in their attacking arsenal, and probably something they haven't really got right now. James Collins is somebody with a fantastic finishing ability and experienced, but talk about getting in behind. He's not the youngest and probably not the quickest. Having a little bit of a different element to your attacking force is always nice, and I expect to see more than just one striker on top of James Collins coming through the door. I know James Collins was last season, but I mean in top of those striking options. Let's see what happens, but I think Jay Stansfield could be a solid addition to this Derby County squad. So for Exeter, I've gone with Aaron Pressley. This would be a loan or a transfer from Brentford. Forwards will definitely be on the list with Jay Stansfield leaving, as I've just said, and Giovanni Brown being released by the football club. It looks likely that Aaron Pressley will be available for transfer because the chance of breaking into that Brentford first team is pretty unlikely. Pressley has proven that when fit and given opportunities, he can be a serious goal threat, netting 7 in a struggling Accrington Stanley side for the second half of last season. For Brentford B, he's also really highly rated, scoring 19 in 26 during the 2020-21 season. He also won Players Player for the year as well along the way. There's known to be plenty of League One and League Two interest in Aaron Pressley, but I think this could be a good fit for Exeter this summer. So for Leyton Orient, I've gone with Luke Southwood. This would be a free transfer. A goalkeeper is a must for Leyton Orient, and Luke Southwood would be a brilliant option. He spent last season at Cheltenham on loan from Reading, and now after being released will be available on a free transfer. Financially, this makes fantastic sense. And when you look at his ability and what he's all about, a sweeper keeper, he's really comfortable playing in that way. Shot stopping, extremely strong. Plenty of suitors after him as well. Last season finished with a 70% save percentage and a 2.74 saves per 90 statistic as well. So clearly there's going to be plenty of teams after him because we've got quite a bloated need for goalkeepers, I think, when looking at the transfer market. So Luke Southwood is one of those, definitely as an option to pick up. I think for Leyton Orient, this makes total sense. So for Fleetwood, I've gone with Josh Martin. Now, I had to change this one last minute because the player I selected has just gone to Harrogate, James Daly. It would have been a really good capture, but he's going to the League Two side. So last minute switch for Fleetwood. I wanted to make sure you get a player that is currently available as of doing this. Josh Martin, recently released by Norwich City, clearly can play at League One level. Barnsley found difficult when it comes to game time there on loan last season, but that's no disgrace. They got to the playoff final. They got plenty of options in those areas. Martin bags great quality, an eye for a goal, great dribbling ability. I think when you look at a free transfer and the fact that financially, maybe with the ownership situation right now being slightly unclear, this could be a really, really good addition. Josh Martin to Fleetwood as a last-minute change for them this summer. So for Lincoln City, I've gone with Del Taylor. This would be a loan deal from Nottingham Forest. I think this probably is the most realistic transfer I'm going to suggest. And by the time this video comes out, he could be signed by Lincoln City. He's been linked all summer. He was brilliant for Burton last campaign, only 19 years of age, a very high ceiling when it comes to potential. He scored 4 in 19 starts, leading the line for Burton, and looks set for another League One move this window. There'll be plenty of competition because, as we know, proven League One loans are not easy to come by and always provide a great deal of interest. I think Lincoln does make sense for Del Taylor. You speak to Nottingham Forest fans, they're extremely excited by the future of Taylor, but another loan move in League One does make sense for everybody, and Lincoln, it could be a great fit. So for Northampton, I've gone with Luke Jeffcott. This is a free transfer after he's been released by Plymouth. Looking at this Northampton Town squad, a striker should definitely be on the shopping list, and Jeffcott would be some pickup. This was a player that was Plymouth's top goal scorer 2 seasons ago, netting 18 times in all competitions, but then a change of system meant he fell out of favour. He needs a change of an environment and somewhere where he feels belonged, and I think a permanent move for Northampton ticks those boxes. It really does. A proven striker, when he's on his mojo, is some player at this level. I think this is a perfect option for Northampton across this window. So for Oxford United, I've gone with Kane Vincent-Young. This would be a free transfer after his release from Ipswich. I know a striker is a desperate position to fill in, and probably we need 2 players in that position. But I couldn't look past another position where I think we do need strengthening. A left wing back, or a left back that can play as an attacking fullback, and a right wing back as he can play as a right attacking fullback in that position as well. Kane Vincent-Young can do both of those positions at a fantastic level. More players joining Ipswich over the last couple of years has blocked his ability to play in that starting 11, but undoubtedly is good enough to play a significant role for a League One club, and I think a top League One club. Now, I'm not saying Oxford, I'm not going to toot my own trumpet here, but I think Oxford could possibly be a top League One club next season if we get these next positions sorted. But either way, I'm putting this name forward because I think he should definitely be picked up by a League One club. Of course, the pedigree, like I said, will be forcing interest from every different direction, and with Finn Stevens looking likely as a recording to join Oxford, this might end this pursuit. But either way, he's definitely somebody that deserves to have his name in the hat. Kane Vincent-Young to Oxford, maybe, but definitely to another League One club this summer. So for Peterborough, I've gone with Daniel Jefferson. This would be a loan deal. Posh need to add attacking reinforcements to this side after it looks likely there'll be plenty of current players in those positions leaving the football club. Daniel Jefferson on loan makes sense for all parties, and regular minutes now as they move to the Premier League. Sheffield United does make that slightly unlikely, especially at this stage in his career. Now, do Posh like loan deals? Not really. We look at their philosophy and transfer strategy. Loan deals is not something they like to do. However, sometimes exceptions and strategies can be changed. And Daniel Jefferson could be an example of that being maybe just tweaked just this once. He fits perfectly into the system and the style we expect from Peterborough next season. I think Daniel Jefferson would be a fantastic pickup as a striker option for Peterborough this summer. So for Port Vale, I've gone with Robbie Burton on a free transfer. Now, this is a pretty rogue suggestion for Port Vale, and one that is cool and pretty risk-free. Now, unlikely, I'll be totally honest, after his release from Dinamo Zagreb, that's right, Dinamo Zagreb in Croatia, Robbie Burton is looking for a move to the Football League, and the EFL is probably the destination we're looking at when it comes to Burton. It looks as though Port Vale could be an interesting suggestion. The midfielder can play as a number 6, number 8 and a number 10. It was a hot prospect when at Arsenal as a younger player, appearing 33 times for the under-18s and 31 times for the under-21s. He went to Dinamo Zagreb, didn't really ever work out. He had his contract terminated in January. It looks as though a move to the Football League was going to happen, then fell through. So the summer is definitely a chance for him to get his career back on track. And League One seems as though it's a good place to start. Unlikely, you'd say, because there's been no links to this player when it comes to Port Vale, but definitely somebody who could fit exactly what Port Vale need during this transfer window. So for Portsmouth, I've gone with Tommy Lee. This would be a transfer from Accrington Stanley, a name that most Pompey fans will be fully aware of after he's been linked to the football club all summer. Pompey are in the market for a natural number 10, and Tommy Lee would definitely have the attributes to play in that role comfortably. He's a creative, hard-working midfielder who can play as a number 10, as a traditional number 10 behind the striker, but also as an advanced 8 in a flatter 4-3-3, two formations that we expect John Mousinho to go with during the season. He managed 9 goal contributions, including 7 direct goals in a poor Accrington side last season, which, trust me, I didn't do it, but I can tell you, with the creative numbers that Accrington were putting up, the very low creative numbers, that is a very, very quite impressive set of statistics. With clinical strikers in front of him, or more clinical strikers in front of him, and better quality midfielders beside him, at 23 years of age, there's still lots of potential and development that can be achieved. And with the type of player that Pompey are bringing in right now, Tommy Lee fits the bill long term. I think that's definitely the profile they're looking at the long term and players that can develop and get better. I think this could be a really, really good suggestion. Not the finished article, for sure, but I think an impressive pickup and continuing what has been a very, very good Pompey window so far. So for Reading, I've gone with Sam Clucas. This would be a free transfer after he was released by Stoke, but I think could still do a fantastic job in League One for 1 or maybe 2 seasons. Being 32 years of age, he brings great experience. He's been a regular starter in the Championship since 2015, so maybe, like I say, 1 year, 2 years, we'll have to wait and see. But I come back to that word experience. I think that could be crucial when we look at Reading's quite difficult situation right now. They need to have some experienced heads in there, because starting to add that squad and add elements to the squad, the number one, I think, word should be experience, of course, with a blend of young, hungry players. But Sam Clucas, he's done it at a higher level for a long, long time. 1 year, 2 years, that's all you need, really. He could be a really good addition to this Reading side this summer. So for Shrewsbury, I've gone with Tyler Walker. That would be a free transfer. It looks as though Shrewsbury are going to be back in the market for a centre forward. And at League One level, Tyler Walker almost does guarantee goals. Across the EFL, Walker has bagged 60 goals and made 113 Championship appearances. After his release from Coventry this summer, Walker will be looking for a permanent move and a sought-after player. I think we're getting with Tyler Walker. Lots of clubs will be looking at somebody who has played, like I said, 113 at a higher level when you're a League One club, and has scored goals pretty much wherever he's gone. Not Pompey, actually, but everywhere else he scored goals. So Pompey, stay away. But I think for Shrewsbury, this does make a really, really good amount of sense. Maybe we haven't seen the prolific side of Walker's game for some time now, but a permanent move where he's going to get regular minutes, start plenty of games of football, be given opportunities, feel as though he is there for the long term. Loan moves have not really helped that development, you'd say. This could be a really good fit for Shrewsbury and for the player, Tyler Walker. So for Stevenage, I've gone with Michael Jacobs. This would be a free transfer after being released by Pompey. In the words of Forno written all over it, Tom, he said when Jacobs is fit, he can do more than just a good job. Of course, injury problems have been a concern, but we saw in glimpses last season when Jacobs is fit, he can be a really, really good player still at the age of 31. Just go back and watch that game, Pompey versus Cheltenham. He was fantastic for Portsmouth when they won 4-0. We all know the importance of experience in this Steve Evans side, and one thing that Jacobs does bring is exactly that, racking up 427 appearances with a mixture of League 2, League 1 and plenty of Championship games as well. This is a really, really good one, I think, for Stevenage, and I'm quite proud of this suggestion. I think it does tick lots of boxes. Versatility, playing as a left winger, a right winger and behind the striker. A solid, sensible option for Stevenage, I think, in my eyes. So for Wycombe Wanderers, I've gone with Divin Mbamba, a loan deal from West Ham United in the Premier League, of course. When you think Wycombe strikers, you think physical players who can link up play, bully defenders, and Divin Mbamba is just that. He's done it in glimpses, you'd say, for West Ham at professional level in the Europa Conference League last season, but an EFL loan move now does look on the cards to get regular minutes at a good standard. The EFL player potentially is 18 years of age and was the second top goal scorer in the Premier League 2 last season with 13 goals in 20 appearances. This Wycombe side need a bit of refreshment, you'd say, a bit of young, hungry players that are desperate to make an impact. Divin Mbamba is all of those things. He wants to make it and show he can do it at the professional stage on a regular basis, and Wycombe could be exactly what they're after. So for Wigan, I've gone with Dabo. This would be a free transfer after he was released by Coventry. He would be a superb option for Wigan this transfer window. A free transfer works with their financial restrictions, whilst also bringing in a great amount of League One quality as well. Having made 27 appearances in the Championship last season, he's not shy to regular minutes as of late, and when Coventry were promoted out of League One a few seasons ago, Dabo played a significant role as a right wing back, and I'm sure he'd be able to do the same again. Bolton are linked with a 27-year-old, 27 by the way. He's still got plenty of years left in him. This would be a very, very impressive capture. I think Dabo would be a great fit for Wigan this summer. And that wraps up this episode of the podcast and the first episode of the 2023-24 season. Hopefully you did enjoy it. It's great to be back. I can't wait for the new season. Lots to dive into. It's great to think now that we're so close to the opening weekend of the campaign. Of course, I'm now back for good. Lots of exciting content coming to the channel in the coming weeks. I'm back for good. I will see you all very, very soon. Give your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, get that discussion going. I'll be replying and responding to all of those as per usual. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you all very, very soon. Take care.